Hostiles approaching. Reciprocating.
Raid sucks, Plarium sucks, don't play this game. See? Not sponsored. Now, a burning question that always comes up pertaining to the world of gacha games is how come Western developers don't make them? Well, in 2018, one brave developer had stepped up to the stage. Raid Shadow Legends has taken the world by storm with its innovative gameplay, jaw-dropping graphics, and skill-oriented PvP. Or so they say. Raid is one of those companies that ran a guerrilla campaign on marketing spanning all the way back to 2018 when it launched. They still do, actually. They've reached out to me and a lot of other content creators numerous times. However, since it occurred to me that I've never explored the idea of how a Western dev would make a gacha game, I thought, why not give it a shot at least? Hi, my name is Psyche, and I'll be attempting to go into this with an open mind. Maybe there is something unique in Raid that other gacha games don't do. If the unthinkable happens and there are good qualities about the game, I'll point it out as well. If there aren't any other interruptions, let's play Raid Shadow Legends. But first, I want to cover who created Raid Shadow Legends and the general perception around it. The company behind the game is Plarium Games, who has an extensive catalog of titles, all meant for the mobile platform. From their official site, every game they have made is a free-to-download mobile game. You can probably see where their priority lies. Not really a surprise when you realize that they're a subsidiary of an adult gaming company. When I mean adult gaming, I'm referring to casinos and slot machines. Anyways, they spend a boatload of money marketing the game and sponsoring online creators. So this image comes from the YouTuber Rent's reviews, and allegedly they have offered mid to high-end YouTubers $1,600 for a 60-second integration. Now, I don't know about you, but that is basically the average income of a single paycheck for a lot of entry-level workers. And making all that in 1 minute sounds pretty good to me. And all you would have to do is pretend to like the game for 60 seconds. I'm sure your fans would understand. Plarium also does these deals where they get you to create a dedicated channel where you'll post nothing but Raid content. You'll find dozens of these out there. Now, I'm not sure if these creators genuinely enjoy playing Raid, but you can see that every one of their videos are sponsored. Starting off, you have to download the Plarium Play launcher, otherwise you can't play on PC. Also, I never thought I'd see the day where I actually click on one of those affiliate links to get a head start. It's natural that they have these promo codes that get you free goodies in-game, so I tried entering one. It certainly worked. However, I learned that there is a 24-hour cooldown to enter a promo code. That's actually insane. I've never seen any mobile game have this weird barrier here. Anyways, what is the basic premise of Raid? Well, gonna be honest, there isn't an overarching story that follows a main protagonist, but the story content is basically just the narrator that details the journey of an unknown band of heroes as they venture across the fictional land of Teleria. There are 12 chapters in the story, and I've gotten through the entire campaign on normal in the 2 weeks I spent. I gotta say, the story presentation is just non-existent. It's a static image of a picture on a parchment illustration, and the narrator briefly explains what's happening. No central protagonist, no character sprites or animated cutscenes. It's as barren as it gets. The champion's lore is dumped as paragraphs of text on the side. The official channel does post occasional lore videos, except why not just put them in the actual game? If you want players to care about the world building, wouldn't it be a better idea to just integrate it into the game's actual story? It's like they innately understand that people aren't playing this for the story, so the content for it is just an afterthought. After all, at its core, in gacha games, the story doesn't sell, the characters do. Okay, so what about the actual story levels themselves? Well, it seems that it's just a repeating pattern of 3-wave enemies with the exact same layout every time, except for a boss challenge at the end of the chapter. No cinematic intros, no visual spectacles in the fights, nothing particularly memorable except that the boss enemy is just another oversized HP bomb. You'll bring champions of varying rarity into a level. The amount depends on the level type. Everyone's got a normal attack and a few skills that can be used on cooldown. Every unit has a turn meter determined by their speed stat. It's the most generic turn-based system out there. You can also just put the game on 2x speed and on auto mode. Now, let me be clear about something. Raid is an auto battler game. I have no problems with it being an auto battler game. Idle games have existed and there are people that enjoy it. I mean, just look at Game Clickers. It's one of the most successful ones to date. It's addicting watching numbers go up. Here's where I draw the line though. The thing about these games with mostly vertical progression is that when you monetize it, it's super easy to sell things to you where you can see its benefits. The gameplay is not what I have problems with. It's how the game uses its gameplay as a means to monetize. If you pay money and get a stat boost to your champion, then use them in a level, then you can easily tell that the money is what got you over that barrier. The simplistic nature of its gameplay plays to that advantage here, and I suspect that was the reason for choosing this design for its gameplay. Aside from the story mode, there are also many other modes where you can farm materials or engage in other types of content. To my knowledge, in the unlikely scenario that you want to play Raid, joining a decent clan seems to be fairly beneficial. Some of the raids and farming stages are only available on certain days of the week. This is of course time-gated content to artificially limit your progress and reinforce you to log in on select days. Classic practice in a mobile game. There are also arena modes where there's offline PvP and live ones. You have to be a higher level to unlock it, and I imagine that assuming both players have the same lineups and are similar of skill level, there are likely going to be some strategizing involved, so it's not all just a mindless numbers game. However, once we talk about how to make champions stronger, the concept of fair play will become but a distant dream. We've talked about the raid, but where are the shadow legends? Champions are split into many rarities. You can level them by simply beating levels with them, or you can use other champions as fodder or dedicated XP items. There are 3 elements in the game that deal advantage damage to another, with the 4th being neutral. You can also increase the star level of the champion by sacrificing other champions of the same star level, or these turkey items. You can further ascend the champions for every star they have, with these taking the potion currency from in the time-gated levels, where not all of them will be unlocked every day. You can can also farm scrolls to get passive perks in 3 skill trees, though these will take quite a while to get everything. You can also level their skills using the skill books, which are also given out in limited quantities. Now, there's a couple of sets of gear you can slap on them. There are 6 artifact slots, and the sets all need a certain amount of the same equipment in the same set to activate its bonuses. The gear levels can be upgraded with substats unlocked at certain level thresholds. You use the common currencies. silver to upgrade it. Sounds easy so far until you learn that this is one of those gearing systems where the upgrade can fail. So you just waste the silver and have to keep trying until you succeed. This means that if you wanted to max out each piece of gear, you should be expected to spend millions of silver. The problem here is that the game doesn't tell you what the chance of success is. It just displays high, medium, or low. This paves the way for players to change the rates on the slide, and players wouldn't even know what's behind the scenes. If players are winning the rolls too fast and progress too quickly without spending much silver, well, they can just simply rig the odds. There's also accessory slots where you have to match up the faction of the champion and reach certain star thresholds before they can be equipped. I don't think I have the patience to stick around to find out, but there's an additional gear slot for something called the Relic that I presume will expand the grind even more. This is not including another passive called Blessing that's unlocked later. Literally layers upon layers of complexity for Raid's gearing system. Now, the closest comparisons for the gearing system will be Epic 7 or Brown Dust 2. Believe me, the only thing stopping me from enjoying these games are the gearing system. I like my character upgrades to be as straightforward and seamless as possible, and this just ain't it. Pretty much every single upgrade item in the game is either time-gated or requires stamina to farm. Speaking of which, there's a stamina system with the cap increasing when your player level goes up. However, there is no sweep feature in this game. You have to manually run through each level over and over if you want its drops. There is a Super Raid checkbox where you can run the level once with double stamina and double rewards. There's also a multi-farm feature where the game can farm a level over and over for you. Okay, so that's at least better than nothing, right? So what's the catch? Well, the catch is pretty hefty. You're limited to 30 multi-farm attempts every day. Why is that? Well, that's because the game can sell more attempts back to you via the raid card system. By paying $10 a month, you get more XP and silver from battles and 70 additional daily multi-battle attempts. Now, when I was prompted to see what the raid card was all about, the game displayed that this purchase had to be bought on a mobile device, which confused me. Quite a weird restriction. I mean, what's even the reason for that? I saw the same thing in Netmarble's solo leveling a Rise gacha game, except I never really gave it much thought. So, I dug a little deeper. You know when you buy the monthly pass in a gacha game, the game will warn you when your pass is nearly up, so you can buy a new fresh batch from the shop? Well, the reason that the raid card has to be bought on a mobile device is that it will use Apple or Google's payment system to classify it as a subscription, meaning that it will auto-renew itself every month. If you forgot to cancel the auto-renewal, that's too bad. I'm guessing they just couldn't figure it out on the PC version, or were just too lazy to implement it. So Plarium can't benefit off your late subscription fees, and they just can't have that. Anyways, this is the very definition of create the problem, sell the solution. This will be a recurring thing once we look at more of the game, but at least the game does display it's got a background farming feature unlocked late into a player's progression, so at least you can do that. Well, not unless you want to play other modes while background battle is happening. According to forum users and other videos, once the background battling session starts, you can't play the vast majority of the other game modes, rendering background farming essentially useless. Now we take a look at the unholy abomination that is the gacha system. Instead of a premium currency to pull on a gacha banner, you have to open these shards to recruit a champion. They have their own rarity ranges, so you're never going to be getting a legendary from one of these green crystals. From my 2 weeks of playing, I got a decent amount of greens, a few blues, 1 rare, and 0 characters past that rarity except for the free Michelangelo given out from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab. The game may also advertise that you can get free codes for free collab legendaries, except these are only available to new players, and you may only use one of them. Now, you do get a few free legendaries for the progression tracks, and there's a fusion mechanic where you can fuse certain rare characters when you have enough of the base material. Worth mentioning that there is a more traditional gacha system when you reach the endgame, where the chances of certain mythic characters have a 2.5% drop chance, with a pity kicking in after 24 pulls. Going back to the mystery shards, I was surprised to find that the game does indeed list its internal rates. As the majority of shards you get are the common ones, you'll mostly be getting the fodder 1 and 2 stars. Even the higher tiers given out way less frequently don't have good odds. As you can see, the game really doesn't want you getting the rarest characters. The Void Affinity champions have their own shards as they're seen as more elusive and rare. A pity system exists here as well. But again, the soft pity kicks in at 75 pulls for epic characters and 200 for legendary. I should mention that during the 2 weeks I played, the income I got shards higher than blues were extremely limited. This means you have no predictable income of these, if free-to-plays are handed out much at all. If you take a look at the entire roster, there are a lot of rare characters. It just feels like you're getting shafted by every angle unless you pay for more shards. You're stuck on the bottom rung of the ladder unless you open up your wallet. My first impression is that this is one of the most unfriendly gachas I've seen in this genre, and we haven't gotten to the cash shop yet. There are multiple menus to track your daily and weekly missions, and even a timer system where you get rewards just for playing for longer. I am insane and decided to play for 2 hours on certain days, and overall found that the game at this point is massive, requiring you to participate in multiple game modes. Unlike some other daily missions in gacha games, the daily system is quite strict, as it wants you to do every single task on the list to get the final reward. The game throws so many flash sales at you that at times it actually feels unplayable. They're so intrusive that you have a difficult time navigating around the menus without one popping up to tell you of the value you're missing out. Going into the cash shop feels like stepping into a whole new dimension. But one of the main issues I have with the game is that certain progression materials aren't farmable, and you have to wait for the game to drip feed it to you or just get more with real money. Say that I wanted to use the champions I do have to build a team with whatever I got. Since it's super unreliable to get rare characters as a free-to-play, you have to make do with their low rarity grunts. However, to upgrade their star level, you have to dump more XP into them, and you need other champions of the same rarity as fodder, or use the turkey token thing. You really don't get a lot of these, so this avenue on how you can progress the account is just blocked by a hard gate unless you wait for the game to give you more or pay up. There is also the premium currency gems, which again you only get at controlled amounts. There is a mines tab in the main menu where once unlocked, you get a small steady supply of gems. Unfortunately for you, the mines has to be unlocked by gems themselves. How ironic. There is also a feature where your characters can be passively leveled just by placing them in the slot and waiting in real time. Unfortunately for you, if you want to be more efficient with more slots, you gotta pay gems as well. As you can see, there are a few quality of life features in the game, except you just don't get to access them for free. I'll save you the ramble with the cash shop at this point, but you can imagine that it's one of the most egregious I've seen. Mountains upon mountains of shortcut packs, resource packs, beginner packs, and others. Now, to be honest, all this I can maybe stomach. Where I seriously draw a line when it comes to monetization in gacha games is that major quality of life features should never be paywall. Why pay for more multi-battle attempts when you can just sweep levels for free like a normal gacha game? It's so clear that Raid puts in numerous artificial barriers in the gameplay experience and progression to sell.
New Axdio sticks, with scents inspired by luxury perfumes. Explore the entire collection.
Alright, so today got some exciting things to jump into. Pretty much 2 topics. First, an update set of information that's come out over here regarding some fixes coming to the game. Either came to the game or coming to the game. One of the two. Second, TGS, Tokyo Game Show, has concluded. And this year, I don't know. You'll see what they said pretty much. Every interview I read from every different company that went to show the booth, sort of gave it the same answer. It's as if they didn't want to reveal anything. It's either they got so much cooked up that they're gonna like blow you away, or it's garbage and there's nothing cooked up. So we'll find out today. Let's jump into it. New to the channel, like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. Take a look at what's the case coming up. So first up, regarding the update notice, they have published this over here. We conducted an update on October 6th, updated the resources that we can build it into your game. So I believe this already.